Hello and welcome. It is Sports Nerds. We are back. I am Max here with my esteemed colleague, Carf. How you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm so much better now that we're together. It's been a long time.
I agree.
It's always too long, but again, it's like whenever we get together, it's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then it's like 8 things in life happen, and we never get back together for another month and a half.
I know, right? Adulting.
Yeah, it sucks, but we do what we can, and we're here now,
That's
so
right.
we're gonna make the best of it. I'm going to do something. This is like my first time that I've ever had the reins on this StreamYards program, so I'm actually gonna throw up an intro because I can. So here we go.
All right.
That was fun.
That was.
All right, good shit. Let's start. I think the smallest topic we have is NBA.
Yeah.
So let's start there. LeBron is hurt. Somebody on the Nets is always hurt. What do you think the playoffs is going to look like?
Me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Of course it's me. Who else is he fighting? When it comes to I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this. Doing this on my phone here.
Yep.
And I've had a couple of whiskeys. So, anyways, but yeah. So the NBA playoffs. No, it's a good question because is LeBron starting to break down? He's been notorious for taking several weeks off during every season. He's been doing it, since his first run with the Cavaliers. He was taking days off, so to save his body, which was smart. But now it looks like it's kind of creeping up on him. And then on top of that, too, Anthony Davis has been banged up every now and then. And then and you also mentioned that the Nets, it's that I want to say I think it's what is it, 10 games or less that Kyrie, KD, and Harden have all been on the court at the same time, healthy.
That's actually happened. I didn't even think that actually happened yet.
Yeah. So exactly. So you see how rare it is. And then it's playoffs are right around the corner, and then it's okay, you expect that cohesiveness and stuff like that. If I was a gambler, man, I would definitely take whoever the Nets are playing in that first round. That it's going to go 6 games or more. Nets will probably win, but just off talent. But they need to get that, like I was saying, that cohesiveness. Because they're going to need it come playoff time. But with that being said, though, I think that just being a Cavs fan and watching us get torched by these two teams recently, I think the Suns have a really good chance, and I also think that the Blazers have a really good chance. Both two very good dark horse teams. The East, what is it? I mean, the Sixers are. One day they're the favorites. Another day it's who gives a shit about the Sixers,
Right.
And then it's it's Giannis and nobody else on Milwaukee. And then
but they just beat the Nets. I mean, of course, they didn't have Harden, but I mean, with Kyrie and KD, they lost. I think the Bucks beat them. Of course, I don't know. Are they not turning it up because it's just regular season? I understand the playoffs are a little bit different.
Yeah,
but still, with two of their main stars. And I would argue that KD is the more important one than Harden. But what the fuck do I know? Apparently, they can't win without Harden.
Well, it's an anomaly, really, because it's the 3 biggest ball hogs in the entire league all on one team. And so it's I don't know how they're going to make it work. I think they'll make it work on talent alone, but yeah, it's. I don't know what they're going to have to do as far as to all get on the same page. Who's going to take that last shot? it's we're down 5 or whatever, a minute, a couple minutes left, we need a bucket. Like, who's the go-to guy? Who's gonna, is Kyrie? You gonna let Kyrie pass it up? I mean, he made the game-winning shot in the finals, for the Cavs. So it's like, you're gonna let Harden do it? Well, he's one of the greatest three-point shooters we've ever seen. Like,
I mean,
or what about KD? But KD, he can do it all. So it's
I don't know. It seems to me like it should be impossible to cover all three of them at once. If you can get all three of them on the court, you just whoever needs to take the shot is the one who's open, because they can all make it.
Yeah, true, right? Yeah. No, you are.
But will they be able to pass the ball is the problem. I mean, like, because look at Michael Jordan. When he won 5 and 6, like that was off. Hey, I'm Michael Jordan. They're all going to come guard me. I just need somebody to pass the ball to that I can trust to make the shot. So, like, they're all a Michael Jordan, like level.
Yeah, they need some Steve Kerrs,
Yeah, they need a BJ Armstrong, like any asshole, like, because if KD is crashing to the board, then they're gonna move to guard him, and somebody's gonna be open, But will he pass the ball is the thing. Like, are they capable of such?
Well, only time will tell. We'll find out this year in the playoffs, but yeah, I mean, it's, you want to go with chalk and, and it's like the favorites. Yeah, it's probably going to be Brooklyn and LA in the finals. LA Lakers, not the Clippers, but, but yeah, those dark horses, though. Like,
who thought you were talking about the Clippers?
Yeah. But, also don't count out the Nuggets, man. The Nuggets are good. They got Jokic, who's he's an MVP favorite.
Baby Joker.
Yeah, and then and then the Jazz too. The Jazz have some players too. So I mean, it's the West is stacked. The East hasn't been the East in a long time. So I mean, definitely I feel like if it's not the Nets, it's going to be somebody from the West.
Yeah. All right. I was just like, it seems to me like all the people you're wanting to see play right now are just injured, and I was like, man, like, if the NBA is kind of, I feel like, soft right now. Like, as far as it's like, yeah, like, you can't get, if Harden's in, then KD's out. Or if Anthony Davis is feeling good, then LeBron's fucked up. Like there's no. Like, would you want to see these big teams? Like, Steph Curry is out there just doing it all by himself, but it's not enough. He's just raining threes for days, and it's not going to matter. But it's like it's just very weird to me. Like, the NBA is in this like weird kind of state right now.
Well, that's what the NBA is now, man. It's a players' league. It's they play on the teams they want to play on. They play when they want to play, and that's how the league goes. It's like, they rest players. They take a week off with a soft tissue injury and all this, crap. So it's, so it's like, maybe LeBron's just bullshitting and just, taking a few days off just to, just take a few days off. Or is he really, hurt? That's the thing.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, hopefully everyone gets healthy for the playoffs. Like, I just want to see good games. Like that's the bottom line. I just want to see good games. So, but small segue. We'll leave the NBA there. Talking about a players' league. Aaron Rodgers has taken the NFL he's taken the whole NFL hostage.
Yes.
The NFL is not a players' league, but they do need to take a page or two from the NBA, the Players Association. And this is how it gets started. I think Aaron Rodgers on draft day announces like he's fucking pissed and he hates everyone at Green Bay.
Done.
So the consensus is he's not going to play. Like, if they don't work out a deal to trade him, he's just not going to play. How do you feel about that, and how do you feel like him taking the NFL hostage?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to this. A lot of ins, a lot of outs. A lot of players here, man.
Yep, just stay away from my lady friend.
But yeah, so yeah, and he's got a special lady friend now too. So I mean, we also need to understand the background of Aaron Rodgers. He's historically known to kind of be kind of be a prick, almost, kind of like an asshole. There's rumors that, he doesn't get along with his family and he has these, toxic relationships, all this crap. He's a prima donna, blah, 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 blah. He still has a chip on his shoulder because, he fell in the draft. So with all that being said, it's like the Packers should know like how to handle this guy. Like he's been on their
by now.
By now, if not whenever, if not never. And so it's like, if he's been behind the scenes, like telling them I need this, I need that, and they're not doing it, like, don't be surprised that he wants to leave. Now, on the other hand, he has signed contracts, and so does he just want to straight up retire? But if he retires, then, if he tries to come back, they're still going to have his rights. And so it's
yeah, I'm wondering about that. So, if he's like retires, does he have to wait 2 years? Or like is when he retires, like he still has 2 years on the contract, or like if he comes back, he still has 2 years on the contract.
Depends on how many years are left on the contract. So if he comes out of retirement, if he's got 2 years, 3 years, whatever, that's how many years that he is still bound to the Packers.
Okay,
that's why Brett Favre went to the Jets, before he went to the Vikings.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, is it just fucking all right? No, I'm not gonna play, and then he sits out for a year, sits in the hot tub, and he goes to the Bahamas, and then comes back next year like I'm ready. So he can't fuck them like that. Okay, that's
exactly,
interesting.
Yeah, that's a nice little loophole there that the NFL does. So it's like but so now it's like, okay, so who's a trade partner? And it's like literally, if you're not the Buccaneers or the Chiefs, I'd say you're definitely a trade partner. I mean,
who doesn't want Aaron Rodgers? Even Green Bay wants him.
Like John Elway should be on the phone right now and offering him like.
Look, John Elway shouldn't be on the phone. He should be on his knees sucking Aaron Rodgers' dick right now. Is what he should be doing. But
work with Peyton Manning.
It's the perfect primo Broncos equation for Super Bowl. We need an older veteran quarterback kind of at the end.
Yes.
And we got enough players all ready to go. So like that's the sauce we like.
That is the winning recipe.
Yep, I mean it's worked twice now. So that for a total of 3 rings, could have been 4 except for the fucking Ravens that year.
Seahawks.
But
oh wait, no. Well, the Seahawks smoked you guys too.
Yeah. But no, but like the year that Peyton Manning was setting all the records, I think we lost to the Ravens in the playoffs.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes.
But yeah, so it's like, but yeah, that's the sauce, man. That's the sauce we like. But I know the Broncos aren't going to get him because too many people are talking about it. And that's just like I'm not allowed to get my hopes up like that. So I'm just gonna keep saying that it's not gonna happen, and praying every night to Aaron Rodgers that he please will bless us with his arm and his beautiful, beautiful talent. But as long as he doesn't go to the Raiders, like that, I can stand anything except for him going to the Raiders. I know it's a possibility.
Yes, there's a lot of talk about him going to the Raiders. It's a lot of these like ready to win now kind of teams, like situations. And you know what? There's not a better ready to win now team right now than my Cleveland Browns. And I tell you what, if we had to get rid of Baker Mayfield and like 3 first-round picks, I would do it.
Like you said, if you don't have Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, who isn't ready to sell the whole? What do you want? What do you want?
I'll definitely mortgage the next few mortgage the next few years for 1 ring, man. And I would take it. And I don't care if Aaron Rodgers like gets up there at the parade, just like, I really hate Cleveland, but this is the only way it was gonna work. And I'd be like, fine.
That's fine.
The trophy stays here, though.
Yeah. Your ring still says Cleveland on it.
Right. You're still coming back next year for the home opener for the ring ceremony.
Oh man, no, it's well, you know that's not gonna happen because the Browns fucking suck. So it's not gonna.
They're so bad. They were, one of the last teams in the playoffs. You're right. Browns is the Browns. You're right. But hey, this year, Nick's Chubb is about to Kareem in her hunt.
That's a good shirt. I applaud that shirt. That is
the night of the Steelers playoff game. So good luck.
Oh man! All right. So you went to the draft.
I did go to the draft. It was amazing. So I want to just touch on this, with seriousness here, because this last year with COVID and everything like that, it's been hell for a lot of people. And we haven't had these big social gatherings. People go to these bars and stuff like that or whatever in a crowded area. But as far as like concerts and games and stuff like that, it's been very limited. And so this draft was probably the biggest, largest outdoor social gathering, since everything went to hell. Right. So that was I reflected on that, and I thought that was really neat. And the fact that it was the NFL, the draft, and it was in Cleveland and all stuff like that, I thought that was really neat. On top of the fact that football made its home in Northeast Ohio. The Hall of Fame is like a half hour down the street. So, but all that coming through, it was very awesome. It was very home. I thought it was pretty neat. But the draft itself was amazing. You had, of course, it was just Browns fans everywhere. You would have loved it, Max. Everyone was just barking at each other. And then you had your out of towners and your transplants or whatever wearing their team's gear, but they were just like, you had to know somebody to get in there, and my brother knew somebody that could get us some passes. So it's like, it's all these these fair weather fans. I compare it to like a lot of the diehard fans. They're always sitting up in the nosebleeds, while like everyone's sitting, they got the best seats. It's like some guy on a corporate meeting or whatever like that. They're talking business, not even giving a shit about the game. Like that's how I felt like some of these fans were, these out of state fans. That were coming in just like, man, they're like, oh yes, go team, like, and it's like, they got those fake jerseys, like where it's like they don't even have like the stitch numbers on them. It's like all like pressed on like with an iron and shit. Like, like
they bought it because
like you bought that at Target like before you came over here. Like,
like on the way in, they're like, oh shit, I guess I should have something that says Cleveland on it.
Yeah, or not even the Cleveland fans. It's not the Cleveland fans. It was like all these other fans.
Okay,
like the Jaguars fans.
And,
not the Philly fans though.
Those guys are legit.
Philly fans were legit. The Raiders fans were legit, and the Steelers fans were legit. That was about it. But
Raiders.
But it was but it was a good time though. It was great because when they opened up the draft, they brought out Jarvis Landry, who's a receiver for the Browns, Joe Thomas, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, retired from the Browns, and then they Bernie Kosar, who was one of the best quarterbacks for the Browns, like back in the '80s, and they kept Goodell kept them up there as long as possible, so they would keep cheering for those guys and not boo him.
Did it work?
I mean, it worked for a while. Then eventually they had to start the damn draft, and so like they had to get off the stage. But like, it was so funny because it's like Commissioner comes out first, and everyone's like booing him, and then behind him it's like all these like Cleveland, beloved. And it's like, yeah.
I mean, it's a good plan. It's a good plan, and unfortunately, you can't just keep them up there the entire time on stage so they don't boo you.
Yeah. But
A for effort.
Yeah, but the draft actually itself was very interesting. I thought, I've never seen this guy Trey Lance ever take a snap. All I've seen is just his highlights on ESPN and all that crap. And for the Niners to trade up and mortgage all their future to get this guy, I don't know, this non-known commodity or whatever, unknown commodity. Like it's puzzling. Like it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was a little surprised. I was like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I'm always interested to see like in a draft who was worth it. Like Kyler Murray or Tua. Like Kyler Murray turns out to be worth it. Tua, not so much just yet.
We'll see.
But it's like we'll see if Trevor Lawrence is worth it. Or like Joe Burrow last year. Totally worth it. Except if he would have gone anywhere else, he'd have had like an all-star rookie season.
Yeah, he would have been offensive rookie of the year instead of being in a fucking
wheelchair.
Yeah,
that's
big old scar in his knee.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's playing the game well, I think, but it's sad to me. He never had a shot. Like Cincinnati didn't do anything to help this guy, and then even in this draft, they didn't do anything to help him.
Well, yeah, I mean, they got Jamar Chase, the all-world receiver, who I thought he's a great talent, but at the same time, though, like they got a couple of good receivers. They need O-line, and they could have got the best O-lineman. And they passed on him, and so
I'm like,
I'm fine with it. I mean, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, they're gonna eat him for lunch. So
oh my god, dude! Like, if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not playing next year. Like I'm not doing it. Like, what are you doing? Like this dude's gonna be RG3'd here in a second. It's like
they're gonna RG3 him. Yeah, right.
Like no protection, just like, hey, run it out, bro. Like what do you?
Yeah,
what do you?
Rub some dirt on him.
I feel bad for him because we don't know how many years or what they took off of this kid already.
Yeah.
And he could have been a sensation. And it's just I'm sad for Joe Burrow, and they don't give a fuck in Cincinnati. Like they 100% showed you they do not give a fuck. Like I'm baffled by them.
They are the only NFL franchise that does not have an indoor practice facility. They have to practice outside in the cold.
Well, that makes them tough. Like I respect that. I respect that because like these guys get paid.
That have indoor practice facilities.
These guys get paid so much. Fuck you. Play in the rain. I don't give a fuck. But if it was something they could stand on, they're like, we're tougher. We are always out in the elements, like that would be one thing, but they're not even tougher because of it. Like it's not
come to Cincinnati and catch pneumonia.
That's it. We'll just get some pneumonia and a broken fucking knee. Like don't worry about anything else. Oh my goodness, I feel bad for Joe Burrow. It's gonna be bad, but yeah, like the 49ers made some moves. There were definitely. Who else made some big moves? Or the Bears.
The Bears. That was I was gonna say. Like I was really surprised that the Niners took Trey Lance over taking Justin Fields, who went to the Chicago Bears, which I think is terrible. Everybody else thinks, "Oh, this is great. Fields to the Bears. It's great." I'm like, no, the Bears are terrible. It's like.
Well,
it'd be like, if the Browns got him a couple of years ago or something like that, like you're going to kill this kid. Like you're going to ruin his career, and that's what I'm afraid of with Justin Fields. Like, I'm afraid this coach, their coach has been there for a few years. He's been on the hot seat and he's gone through a few quarterbacks now. Who was it? They had Trubisky. They traded up to get Trubisky. He's not even on the team anymore. They brought in Nick Foles, and then they benched him to bring back Trubisky last year before they got rid of him.
But Nick Foles wasn't even playing better than Trubisky. It was so marginal that they're like, we'll just play Trubisky. Like, why not? Like,
might as well get our money's worth out of him or whatever. See what happens. And then they signed Andy Dalton this year in the offseason, and they told Andy Dalton, "You are going to be our starting quarterback. Like, you're the guy. This is the guy." And then they're like, "Yeah, Andy Dalton's the guy." And then they go and they draft Justin Fields, and it's just like, here comes the quarterback controversy. Then the coach is going to get fired. Then they're going to bring in a new coach, and then that coach and Justin Fields are not going to gel. And then they're not going to have enough. It's just I've seen this movie. It's
for sure. If there's an if where Andy Dalton plays. Now, like Andy Dalton was never super super great, but like Andy Dalton plays well enough to win them games.
Yes.
And they let Justin Fields develop because I don't feel like he's out of the box ready for the NFL. I feel like he's one of the more NFL ready or more NFL caliber quarterbacks in this class. But I don't know that I would put him, I'd play him game one.
I mean, if he's ready to, in my opinion, if he's ready to go, I mean, if he's got those guys, believing in him and stuff like that, if he's got chemistry and like, I'd say go for it, man. You got to see what you got with these, with these young quarterbacks and stuff like that. Like, I understand the whole like sit and wait. And I would think that'd be like fall underneath more like a Trey Lance kind of guy, or I forget his name, but the guy that went to the Jets at number 2, that dude,
that guy.
I think those guys, I think it would benefit them like a lot more to like sit behind. But like guys like Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence, like they played in big games against big competition and done big, like
that is true. The game where we didn't even have or OSU didn't even have a center, and like that was the game where I was like, okay, Justin Fields might be ready for the NFL because he did not get one good snap that entire game. He was always starting off on the back foot and still made it work.
Yeah.
So that led me to believe that he's capable. But
and
again,
the
like
game. Everyone's just like, oh, did you see the Indiana game though? He struggled against Indiana. I'm like, yeah, but did you watch him take that shot to his spine and then come back and throw a bomb the next play on a dime and touchdown pass and it just torched Clemson? Like, come on now, like,
Oh yeah,
in front of like 50 million people, like, give me a break.
I think Justin Fields can be like a Deshawn Watson level talent.
I do too.
But again, I just don't want to throw him out there. Like
that's not
the
me
first.
Being a homer, but
he's got the potential. It's there. I don't feel like we're being like because I mean like he's done playing for the Buckeyes. So like what the fuck do I care anymore that he was a Buckeye? It's like it doesn't benefit me anymore to tout this guy up like because he was a Buckeye.
We're pushing his brand.
Yeah, like hey, like he did, and because like I feel like Justin Fields is better than like Dwayne Haskins, and like Dwayne Haskins was overhyped, and I could have told you that he would not play well in the NFL before he went. Like he was the benefit of the school. It's like you've got good wide receivers, you've got a great O-line that can like that was recruited. Like you've got all the things to make you look good. Like even if you're not that
conference, and
even if you're not that great of a quarterback, and so he throws 50 touchdowns against like fucking Northwestern or some shit, and people are like, oh, Dwayne Haskins, and it's like no, like he never had that game like I was saying with Justin Fields where like everything was down and he still managed to do it. Like so it's not the same.
Like, and it's like, and I would compare like Dwayne Haskins like Mitch Trubisky. One season under their belt, had some success, but at what but what does that success really look like? And so and then you try to cash in on it, but now both of them are riding the pine. So
and is Dwayne Haskins even in the NFL anymore? Like, did anyone pick him up?
He is Ben Roethlisberger's backup in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't even know that another team had picked him up. I was like, I thought they were still just like, go have fun at the strip club, bro. I mean, it's worked out for them in the past.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But what other draft funness did you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I'm going to talk about it because I'm the Browns fan, and so I think one of the big stories was Jeremiah Wusso Coramara, the linebacker safety hybrid from Notre Dame, fell into the second round, and the Browns got him. This guy was touted as a top 15 prospect by just about everybody. He was a surefire first round pick, and he fell, and it was funny just because like people were just, oh, well, there was rumors that he has heart palpitations or something like that. It's like, it's funny how like just how everyone tries to they try to find ways to like knock you down and figure out reasons like why not to pick you. Like with Justin Fields,
with the
they're like,
epilepsy
Justin
thing.
Fields has epilepsy, and it's like, okay, well, like when did it ever affect him? In a game?
Like you're saying, like he's played in huge games, and he didn't. Like no one had to put a freaking leather strap in his mouth. So like no one ever had to Justin, are you okay?
Didn't have to like hook him up to a machine or something, or
right?
So yeah, it's so I just thought that was fascinating. Just like how it's. I kind of feel like it's like that old school type of mentality almost, where it's like oh well, his girlfriend's ugly, so he doesn't have a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, like, why can't he get a hotter girlfriend? Like there's something there. There's something there.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So like I always find that that kind of stuff just fascinating. Just there's always people that fall and stuff like that, and so I'm interested to see like how that's going to pan out. I think it will pan out, and so, but yeah, I thought that was good. And then you had these guys that just shoot up to the top of the draft, like the linebacker from Kentucky. His name is, I'm drawing a blank right now, but no one ever heard of this guy until like 2 weeks ago. And then, everyone saw all his highlights. I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be a first round pick. And sure enough, boom, he became a first round pick. And so it's like, it's just, the hype machine of the draft, which I do enjoy. I love, seeing where everyone goes. Alabama, of course, they're sending all these dudes to the league. Mac Jones to the Patriots, I thought was pretty significant.
The Patriots, that was Bill Belichick's first time ever drafting a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, Mac Jones better turn out to be something, because that's a lot of pressure, I feel like, to put on him. Like, Tom Brady didn't even get this treatment.
Yeah, right. You think Tom Brady was something? We took him in the 6th round.
Yeah, I mean, they got Tom Brady for a fucking steal, like, all things considered. And so Mac Jones, I would have hated if they drafted me in the first round. I'd have been like, I'd have rather drop to the 4th or 5th round and fucking have Bill Belichick pick me up than in the first round. Like, there's no, that's got to be an insane amount of pressure.
Yeah, and then I mean, it'll be interesting what the Jaguars do with Trevor Lawrence, man, and our boy Urban Meyer, man.
I am like unimpressed with what
he's down there now, so it's official.
I don't know what Urban's got going on. I'm scared for him because I'm unimpressed with all the we'll see what happens on the field, and that's what's important. But everything leading up to that so far, I am worried about. I'm worried about my guy Urban.
Yeah.
The Tim Tebow. They just picked up Tim Tebow.
I was just about to say.
To play what, tight end?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And if he does it, I think everybody should just shit on Tim Tebow. I think, like this whole woe is me. Oh, they say I can't play in the NFL. Like, you can totally play in the NFL. You just can't play quarterback.
Right.
Like, there's others who have come before you that have made the transition and have had successful career. Julian Edelman, he's just retired, was a college quarterback.
Yep.
And then Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor had some years in the NFL. Braxton Miller tried it.
Braxton Miller
didn't exactly work out for him, but I mean, it's still like a thing that is done.
Yeah.
With high, high end, high visibility quarterbacks. I hope it works out. It does open the door for some kind of like trickiness. Some plays where he can throw the ball and do some stuff. They've done that with Edelman. They've done that with other people.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But I was like, Tim Tebow, he just won't go away, man. The fucking roach.
Just it's like the Mets are like, nah, we're good. Like,
thanks,
we signed Lindor. We signed Frankie Lindor and all these other guys. We got the best pitcher in all baseball. We're good. Like, go fuck off. Like, we don't need you to sell tickets anymore.
Yep, that's it.
It's like that new ownership group just came in there because there's a new ownership group that bought the Mets, and A-Rod was actually trying to get it. A-Rod and Jalen were trying to get in on it, but they didn't get it. But it's like, yeah, okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna sign real ball players, and we're gonna get rid of Tim Tebow. Like, this is our main attraction. Come see our AAA star.
yeah, the not as good Michael Jordan effect. Yeah, that's I thought that was pretty funny, but I'm worried about Urban. I'm worried about his decision making because he had that controversy with the ex Iowa coach that he hired and then had to fire.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, and the other thing too is like when it came up, he's like, oh well, we vetted him, and I don't see what the problem is. Not like, well, we didn't know any of this shit. Like we're gonna find out,
we lost that page in his report that said he was a racist.
Yeah, I didn't. It was our mistake, but we don't play like that around here. Because I mean, like he stuck to his guns and then had to fire the guy anyway. I was just like, dude,
this ain't college, man.
Yeah, it is not a good look.
It's bigger than you, man. As shitty as your franchise is, it's still bigger than you.
Yep. So again, hopefully on the field it all works out, but it's just I'm worried about my boy Urban. I'm worried about him. I want him to do big things. I want him to be successful, and doesn't look like it.
Yeah, we'll see, man. It'll be definitely looking forward to it. I mean, they definitely got some good players on that team, so it'll just be how he does it. I mean, I don't know how the spread option is going to work in the pros, but hopefully he's got
never. Like once they, it's always like, oh, it works off the first few games because like defenses aren't used to looking at it or whatever, and yada yada, and then everyone figures it out, and then he just gets shut down like old boy in who was it? Fucking the Eagles.
Oh, Vic.
No, fucking the coach. The coach he was like a college coach.
Oh, yeah, Chip Kelly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so the draft was fun. It was there was a good amount of draft drama. I feel like rating this draft like as a draft, I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8. I was pretty happy with the whole experience of it. Even with Aaron Rodgers trying to commandeer the whole like news cycle.
That's crazy, man. Like, and before that there was all the Russell Wilson drama, and it's and then Deshawn Watson drama, but no one hears about Deshawn Watson now because he's too busy battling off like
he's got the dude's in court. But it's all civil suits, that's what gets me is like there's no criminal lawsuits against Deshaun Watson, which is the only thing I can say in his favor. Because I'm like, if Deshaun Watson raped me or fucking sexually assaulted me, like I would want him to go to prison, not fucking just get a check. Like he's gonna be free to do it to other people.
Well, here's the thing though, too, is that he was trying to. I think he's trying to get a new contract or something like that. So if he did get a new contract, like, and I mean, fuck, if I could get more money out of him, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just because like okay, get the money.
How much,
get the money, but then you're not
how low you are.
Like like it's not cool because you're just letting this dude out there fucking doing the same shit he did to you to other people, and that's not cool. Like, I don't agree with that. So, like, if they're all about the money, like, if they went through this horrible experience just to get a fucking check, like, I don't dig that. Like, that's, like, I mean, if they tried in criminal court, if it's an OJ situation where somehow he fucking got off even with a mountain of evidence, okay, go get the check because you got to at least get something. But, like, why they're going for the check first. And that, I don't agree with that.
I don't know. Maybe they want him to keep making money so they can.
But it's like it's like 20 fucking women. Like he's a menace. He's a menace.
This is true. He's worse than Trump.
Like come on. Yeah. So that I don't understand. So we'll see how it all shakes out. Looks like he's going to be in Houston at least one more year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's just a bunch of drama going on, and yeah, like, again, the draft kind of took over, and this is its own thing. So that's I'm happy with it. How would you rate your draft? Is this your first ever like in-person draft that you've been to?
Oh yeah, I mean it's just not every day that you go to the draft. So
well,
yeah,
you're so big time. I didn't know. I didn't want to assume.
Please don't let this whole facade fool you. I am quite humble. But yeah, no, it was fantastic though. They had it all in the stadium grounds, and so like they had the theater off to the side where you could go in and hang out. And then they had the entire stadium just up for grabs. So like you just hang out. Like I was there with my brothers, and we were all just hanging out like front row of the stadium with our feet up, just down in tall boys. Meanwhile, looking at the giant scoreboards when they got the draft live up there, and then we get up and go into the theater and go hang out. When they're picking and stuff like that. Oh, it's great. It was just fantastic. And like I said before, the fact that, everything that the whole world's been through for the past year or so, and, to have like this big, huge, massive outdoor gathering and being in Cleveland, and it's the draft, like it's just, it's really cool. Really cool.
All right. Awesome. One more thing we got to talk about. There's a huge shakeup in the NHL.
Yes. And I wanted to touch on this. So I know you're not a big NHL guy, Max. So
no, but I wish I was. After you're telling me some of the stuff that's going on, I was like, man, I wish I was more involved in this because it seems hilarious. But
so there's this goon. His name is Tom Wilson, and when I say goon, there's not many of them really anymore in the NHL. And a goon is basically just these guys that they're just there just to hit people. And that's all Tom Wilson does. He has done it for years. He has been Mr. Cheap Shot. He's put people on the boards, and God only knows how many years he's shaved off of people's lives, careers, seriously.
Yeah.
And it kind of escalated the other night when they were playing against the New York Rangers. And Artemi Panarin, former Blue Jacket, but he's a big time star for the Rangers. Tom Wilson took him out, and now Artemi Panarin's out for the year. Now, granted, there's only a week left in the season, and the Rangers aren't going to make the playoffs. But still, though, like the fact that like he is like taking people out, like this,
yeah,
and stuff
it's never good to like injure. Like you want to see a hard hitting game, but like you don't want to see people just get injured, and it sucks when it's also like a star of the other team.
Yeah. You don't want to see any type of like dirty play. Like if Pat Mahomes gets knocked out of the game, you want to be like, oh, it's because he planted his foot wrong. It's not because this guy's put his helmet right in his jaw. Something like that. So
who was that nasty fucking? I think he was playing for the Bengals.
Vontez Burfict. So this guy is the Vontez Burfict of the NHL. He's like Vontez Burfict meets Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, that's mean.
Meets Bill Romanowski.
Meets a junkyard dog.
Yeah. And so the thing, though, is about the NHL is they fined this guy only $5,000. That was it. No suspension, no nothing. And so, like I said, this guy's like the Vontez Burfict. So it's like, at least the NFL, like they've come down hard, like on these dangerous hits and stuff like that. They are severely fining than suspending. And the NHL, being a season ticket holder for an NHL team and just always hearing them talking about safety and all this crap, and then just to like see this stuff happen, like it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a joke. And on top of that too, the Rangers front office came out and condemned the NHL for such a shitty punishment, right? And so in retaliation, the NHL fined the Rangers, and then the Rangers owner fired the front office. So, which is it's ironic because like the owner of the Rangers is also the owner of the Knicks, and so he is just known for just blowing it up really quick and just being a hot mess and not giving a shit.
Yeah, it
And
sounds like a hot mess.
I mean, he banned Charles Oakley, former Knick, from Madison Square Garden. And now he just fired, his name's John Davidson, the president of the Rangers, fired him, who played for the Rangers and was a commentator for the Rangers. And then he went and was with the Blue Jackets and helped build up the Blue Jackets. But then he went back to the Rangers this year to help, rebuild their whole franchise and was doing it. And then he fired his ass. So
And this is like what gets me is it's like, oh, you're gonna find me, like, and they were trying to stand up for their players. It's not like they got caught at the strip club or some shit like that. It's like like the NHL just let your guy get broke like on national television, and when somebody says something about it, like that's not the reason to fire somebody. Like,
yeah. It's ridiculous, and it's like it's weird, how you see a firing like that. I mean, you see coaches criticize refs all the time and stuff like that, and rulings, and it's like, worst you ever see is a fine, but people get fired. Like, come on now. And so it was just very, I don't know. It's upsetting just to see, like the NHL still kind of have this. This slap shot kind of mentality, just this goon mentality almost, where it's like, but it's almost like out of tradition, type of deal.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Like, it's like hockey's a pretty dangerous sport. Like, it's you gotta police it better, especially with these guys. And granted, like hockey, like has evolved. There's not many goons really anymore. This rarely happens, but there's still a few guys out there. Tom Wilson's one of them. He's the worst one. And so it's just the fact that he didn't get disciplined, nearly enough for what he deserves is just very upsetting. But,
yeah, that's crazy. That's a very crazy situation. I was just like, yeah, you'd figure, it's like if it were me and my teams, like the guy fucking takes out my guy. And then I'm like, all right, well, at least they're going to fucking handle this. Like, it sucks, but this guy should get fined, suspended, all these things. They're like, just buy us all pizza and we'll call it square. And yeah. You're like, what the fuck? Like what? No, like you guys are full of shit. You're letting this guy like ruin careers, end careers. Like this guy's out for into next year. He's going to miss games next year. That doesn't help us sell tickets. Like he's my guy. I need him to help make
and
you
he's
money.
A star too. Yeah, it'd be like if like Vontaze Burfict took out like Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, Vontaze Burfict, like just send him a $50 Chipotle gift card or something.
Right. Like it fucking like, yeah, dude. Like. Oh, sorry about the knee, bro. Like, just give me a break. You can send him a fucking fruit basket.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no fucking way. And then when your team comes out, like the president or the head coach or whoever is like, this is fucking bullshit. They're killing our guys out there, and they're just letting it happen. Then you fire that guy for having your team's back. Like, you were the one wronged here. He was standing up for you. Like what? Yeah, that's amazing to me. That is fully amazing. They need to get rid of this owner. They need to just be like, hey, bro.
Well, he's a terrible owner.
Yeah, like old was it the Miami owner? No, fucking whichever owner, the basketball guy. That there's like, sorry, dude.
Donald Sterling.
Yes.
The Clippers. Yeah, the racist guy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, bro, we can't have this anymore. Like, you'll get a fair deal. It's not like he's out. Like they bought the team for $1 billion. So
yeah. Don't worry, you're still rich. The bad news is you lost your team. The good news is you're still filthy rich.
You're still a rich white asshole. But
you're still a rich white guy. You'll be fine.
That's amazing to me. Like what? And then he fires the president. Like that is terrible.
And the guy has like history with him too. You know what I mean? He's like you're
supposed to be boys.
Yeah, he's beloved. He's a beloved. From the fans and stuff like
that.
But like I said, this guy, he's also the owner of the Knicks, and he's been fucking up the Knicks for years. So I don't know how you have I mean, I don't know how you get Phil Jackson in the building and you have Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis and you don't make it work. But
Oh, dude, I heard Patrick Ewing was getting shit in Madison Square. Like Patrick Ewing is having trouble walking around Madison Square Garden. Like that guy, that guy built that house. Like, what?
I
Are
mean,
you
he has
serious?
trouble walking around. Period. But I mean, yeah.
But I mean, like, look. I'm sorry, fucking 8'2" Patrick Ewing, ugly as fuck. Like, I understand you got to duck through every doorway, but the doors should be open at Madison Square Garden. They shouldn't be asking him for his fucking credentials. It's like, oh yeah, that's definitely Patrick Ewing.
Well, you know, he's bald. He's bald now, and he doesn't have those big knee pads on, so maybe people don't recognize him.
Oh, maybe if you rock the knee pads, they would they would know. They'd be like, oh no, I see them knee pads. That's what's up. All right, what's going on, Patrick?
Yeah, he's the head coach at Georgetown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they were at the it was the NCAA fucking tournament or something, and he's there with the team. Like
it might have been what's Georgetown? They're not the Big 12 ACC. No, they're in the A10 or something like that. But yeah, I know. I think they're having their conference tournament there, and that was what it was.
Yeah, utter ridiculousness. All right, well, that guy sucks, and I guess everybody knows now, but like they didn't know before. But all right, that's all I got for this episode of Sports Nerds. Carp, did you have anything else?
Nah, that's it.
All right, well, we're gonna call it quits on this one. Thank you for. I don't think we had any live viewers, but thank you for hanging out with us, talking some sports. I'm Max.
I'm Carf.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
And may the sports be with you.